On November 4, 2025, Louisville, Kentucky, was rocked by a disaster that would leave a lasting mark on the city's history and its people. What began as an ordinary evening quickly turned into a night of chaos and confusion, as the city's familiar rhythms were shattered in an instant. At approximately 5:15 p.m., UPS Flight 2976, a routine cargo flight, crashed near Muhammad Ali International Airport. The aircraft, a vital part of the city's daily operations, was on its final approach when disaster struck, sending shockwaves through the community and the aviation world alike. The crash occurred just as the city was bustling with evening activity. Streets were filled with commuters heading home, families gathering for dinner, and workers finishing their shifts. In a matter of seconds, the ordinary became extraordinary, and the city's attention turned to the unfolding tragedy. Residents across Louisville heard a deafening explosion that echoed for miles. Windows rattled, car alarms blared, and people rushed outside, searching for the source of the terrifying sound. Within moments, a massive plume of thick black smoke rose into the evening sky, visible from nearly every corner of the city. The smoke billowed ominously from just beyond the airport's main runway, signaling that something had gone terribly wrong. First responders raced to the scene, battling not only a fierce fire, but also the chaos and confusion that followed. Firefighters, paramedics, and police worked side by side, their efforts illuminated by the glow of flames and flashing emergency lights. The familiar hum of departing planes was replaced by the wail of sirens, echoing through the night as emergency vehicles rushed through the city's streets, determined to reach the crash site as quickly as possible. For Louisville, home to the massive UPS WorldPort facility, this was more than just a distant headline. The crash struck at the very heart of the city's identity and economy, affecting thousands of workers and their families. Operations at one of the world's busiest cargo airports ground to a halt. Planes were grounded, runways emptied, and the usual flow of goods and people was suddenly interrupted, leaving the community in shock and desperate for answers. As the city held its breath, crowds gathered, and news crews arrived to cover the unfolding story. Questions mounted with each passing hour. What happened to the crew? How many lives were affected? What could have caused such a catastrophe? Louisville was left searching for answers, united in shock and sorrow as the investigation began. In the immediate aftermath of the crash, the true scale of the tragedy began to emerge, sending shockwaves through the community. The scene was one of heartbreak and disbelief, as families, friends, and neighbors gathered near the site, searching for answers and hoping for miracles. Emergency responders worked tirelessly, comforting those in distress and doing their best to bring order to the chaos. Governor Andy Beshear addressed the public in a somber press conference, confirming at least 3 fatalities and 11 injuries on the ground. He cautioned that these numbers were preliminary, and that the situation was still developing. The governor's words underscored the uncertainty and fear gripping the city, as officials worked to gather accurate information and keep the public informed. Meanwhile, the fate of the 3 crew members aboard the aircraft remained unknown, intensifying the anxiety for their families, friends, and colleagues. At local hospitals and the airport, loved ones waited anxiously for any news, clinging to hope even as the hours dragged on. Airline staff and first responders offered support, but the uncertainty weighed heavily on everyone involved. Many of the injuries resulted from the powerful explosion and subsequent fire that erupted near busy commercial areas. Victims, some suffering from burns and others from blunt force trauma, were rushed to nearby hospitals by ambulance. The quick response of paramedics and firefighters was crucial in saving lives and preventing further harm, even as flames threatened to spread. Louisville's medical teams mobilized with remarkable speed and professionalism. Emergency rooms were quickly prepared to receive the injured, and trauma teams sprang into action, working around the clock to stabilize patients. Their dedication and readiness in the face of such a sudden crisis were a testament to the city's commitment to public safety, even in the most trying circumstances. As the hours passed, authorities withheld the names of the deceased out of respect for the families, who were being notified in person. Police cordoned off the area, and officials did their best to console grieving relatives. Across the city, community members gathered for vigils, lighting candles and offering prayers for those lost and those still fighting for their lives. The crash was not just a logistical failure, it was a deeply human tragedy, marked by profound loss and the extraordinary heroism of first responders. Firefighters, police, and medical personnel risked their own safety to help others, embodying the spirit of service and sacrifice in the darkest of times. As the city began to process the enormity of what had happened, the focus shifted to supporting the victims' families and those injured. Volunteers and community organizations mobilized to provide comfort, resources, and a sense of solidarity. In the face of collective grief, Louisville came together, determined to help one another heal and move forward. The fire's scale was staggering, fueled by the plane's 280,000 gallons of jet fuel for its planned flight to Honolulu. The resulting inferno, described by witnesses as volcanic, was nearly impossible to contain. Firefighters deployed specialized foam and tactics to battle the intense, hazardous blaze. The cargo, potentially including flammable goods, added complexity, with thick black smoke signaling a dangerous chemical fire. Environmental risks mounted as runoff threatened local soil and waterways, and the heat warped the wreckage, endangering rescue teams. This was more than a fire. It was a hazardous materials crisis, testing the limits of Louisville's emergency response. The disaster revealed the immense power and risk inherent in modern cargo aviation. The crash's impact rippled far beyond the airport. Authorities issued a shelter-in-place order within 5 miles, warning of toxic smoke from burning fuel and cargo. Residents sealed their homes, while power outages, including at the Ford Louisville assembly plant, plunged neighborhoods and businesses into darkness. The airport's total shutdown halted flights, disrupting global supply chains and stranding travelers. Streets emptied, businesses closed, and the city's usual energy was replaced by anxious silence. The community's resilience was tested as neighbors checked on each other and relied on official updates. This was not just an airport emergency, it was a citywide crisis demanding unity and cooperation. Louisville faced a moment of collective uncertainty, with daily life upended. Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport, home to upsworldport, is a global logistics powerhouse. Every night, thousands of packages flow through its vast high-tech facility, connecting the world's supply chains. The crash of Flight 2976 brought this intricate system to a standstill, halting commerce and highlighting the city's vital economic role. SDF's closure was more than an inconvenience. It was a blow to Louisville's economic lifeblood and a wake-up call about the fragility of global logistics. Most people never see the complex journey behind a simple online order, but for millions, that journey runs through Louisville. The tragedy exposed the hidden vulnerabilities in even the most robust systems. It underscored the responsibility carried by those who keep the world's goods moving. UPS is more than just a delivery service, it's a vital backbone of the global economy, operating one of the world's largest and most advanced air fleets. Every day, thousands of UPS flights crisscross the skies, connecting continents and bridging distances that once seemed insurmountable. The company's signature brown planes and trucks have become symbols of reliability and speed, trusted by millions of businesses and individuals alike. Its vast network spans over 220 countries and territories, enabling businesses everywhere to reach customers and manage complex supply chains with remarkable efficiency. From bustling cities to remote villages, UPS ensures that packages, documents, and essential goods arrive safely and on time, no matter the destination. This global reach has made UPS an indispensable partner for commerce, healthcare, and humanitarian efforts worldwide. The COVID-19 pandemic underscored UPS's essential role in society. As borders closed and uncertainty grew, UPS workers became frontline heroes, ensuring that vital medical supplies, food, and everyday necessities reached those in need. Their dedication kept communities connected and businesses running, even in the most challenging circumstances. The crew of Flight 2976 embodied this mission, facing risks and adversity to keep commerce flowing and support critical supply chains. Their commitment reflected the spirit of thousands of UPS employees who worked tirelessly behind the scenes. In Louisville, UPS is more than a company. It's a major employer and a valued community partner, deeply woven into the city's fabric. The WorldPort facility stands as a testament to innovation and teamwork, supporting both local families and the global economy. The crash was a personal blow for many, touching families and neighborhoods across the region. The loss resonated far beyond the airport, bringing sorrow to a tight-knit community that relies on UPS for jobs, support, and connection. In the aftermath, UPS pledged full cooperation with investigators and unwavering support for those affected. facing a period of intense scrutiny, reflection, and resolve to learn from tragedy. The tragedy challenged the company's core values of safety and reliability, prompting renewed commitment to the well-being of its employees, customers, and the communities it serves. In crisis, clear communication is vital. Governor Beshear and Mayor Greenberg provided steady updates, confirming casualties and outlining emergency measures. They praised first responders' bravery and explained the need for shelter-in-place orders and fire containment efforts. Federal agencies, including the FAA and NTSB, quickly announced investigations, signaling a thorough search for answers. Official statements offered facts, reassurance, and solidarity, countering rumors and uniting the community. Leaders' words couldn't erase the tragedy, but they helped guide Louisville through chaos and grief. The public looked to these updates for stability and hope. The path to recovery began with transparency and compassion. With the immediate crisis contained, focus shifted to investigation and recovery. The NTSB dispatched experts to Louisville, tasked with uncovering the crash's cause. Recovering the cockpit voice and flight data recorders became a top priority, offering crucial insights into the flight's final moments. The crash site posed biohazard and structural risks, requiring meticulous cleanup and forensic work. Every piece of wreckage was a potential clue, and the recovery of victims was handled with utmost respect. The community faced a long road to healing, with counseling and support services essential for those affected. The NTSB's final report would provide answers and safety recommendations to prevent future tragedies. The ultimate goal: learn from loss to make aviation safer for all. Tragedies like Louisville's crash drive progress in aviation safety. The NTSB's findings will inform global improvements in aircraft design, maintenance, and training. Louisville's response showcased the city's resilience, with coordinated emergency action and community solidarity. The disaster highlighted the complexity and risks of modern logistics, reminding us of the people behind every delivery. Moving forward, the city will review and strengthen its emergency plans, building on hard-earned lessons. Honoring the victims and first responders means committing to a safer future. The scars of November 4th will linger, but Louisville's strength and the aviation industry's relentless pursuit of safety ensure this loss will not be in vain. Through grief and learning, the community finds its way forward.